developing story here at noon. Investigators are trying right now to figure out what was in a powdered substance that sent 6 people to the hospital in Lorain. That exposure happened at City Hall. News 5's Meg Shaw lays out what we know so far.
A spokesman for the Lorain Police Department tells me everyone who was hospitalized earlier this morning is going to be okay, but says this kind of exposure here in the city of Lorain happens almost daily, putting their officers at risk. It started as a traffic stop, a Lorain police officer pulling over a 21-year-old man for the window tint on his car. Turns out he was driving on a suspended license. Police arrested him and took him to jail. But before taking him inside, he was warned any drugs found on him would be a felony charge.
So they tell him, just give it up before you get upstairs to avoid that. This person said had nothing on him.
Mike Failing with the Lorain Police Department says he was visibly nervous both during the stop and arrest, so he was taken to a holding cell for a strip search. That's when things got dicey for the arresting officers and 2 others helping. And
then the guy is concealing some stuff in his buttocks. They said, we can see it, just give it to us. He then tries to conceal it in his mouth. And then begins fighting with the officers. He's trying to get rid of the drugs down a drain. While they're fighting, the bag busts open and gets all over the officers and then, of course, himself.
Eventually, the man was tased and handcuffed. Lorain Fire and Life Care EMS were both called in to clean the drugs. 3 officers, 2 EMTs, and the suspect were all transported to Mercy Hospital for the exposure. Both bags of substances were tested. One came back positive for cocaine. The other came back negative for a fentanyl heroin mix. However, Failing says it may still be fentanyl, but further testing is necessary. He's just glad no one was seriously hurt in today's incident.
It's an extremely dangerous job. Any type of powder we come across or anybody else comes across should be treated as a dangerous drug because one little exposure could put somebody into an overdose and kill them.
Ohio BCI will be testing that bag of suspected fentanyl. They will have the final say as to what was exactly inside that bag of drugs. Meanwhile, that 21-year-old man, he is now facing additional charges for assaulting a police officer, tampering with evidence, and possibly drug trafficking, depending on how much of the substance they can recover. In Lorain, Meg Shaw, News 5.